morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Good morning. And on behalf of our mayor and the Ottawa Board of Trade and the Ottawa Business Journal, I'd like to welcome you to our first mayor's breakfast today with our new mayor today and also our new council. I'm Ruby Williams. I'm a partner at Deloitte, and I'm also a board of directors at the Ottawa Board of Trade. I'm joined today with my co-presenter, Michael Curran, at the publishers of the Ottawa Business Journal. We're thrilled to be gathered together safely today here in our beautiful City Hall. So Ottawa is built on the unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territories. The peoples of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation have lived on this territory for millennia. The culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. We honor the peoples of the land and also the culture as well. And we honor all First Nation, Métis, Inuit peoples, and the valuable past and present contribution to this land. So thank you for being here today. And I know it was a brutal drive for some of you, but thank you for taking the time and investing your time in our business community. A big thank you for the staff in the City Hall, and thank you so much for making everyone feel so comfortable. Wasn't the breakfast amazing? And this morning, I would also like to welcome some of our leaders who serve on our Ottawa Board of Trade. So our board chair, Ian Sermon, of Relationship Capital. Erin Benjamin. Erin, I don't know where you are, but I saw you before. She had a beautiful scent cat. She is from Canadian Live Music Association, I think most of you know. Carla Briones and Carla Briones Consulting, and Julie Lupinacci of Hydro Ottawa. And thank you for your leadership and dedication to our community. And I would like to acknowledge the OBOT ambassadors who are here today with us. David Dunlop, Linda McCollum, I think I saw you, Linda, earlier today. Suzanne Sear, Eric Moore, who recently just stepped down from our ambassador role. And please connect with them if you want to find out more about OBOT or want to become a member. I highly recommend that. And please join me in welcoming Councillor Alan Hubley, Councillor Kathy Curry, Councillor Marty Card, and Councillor Tim Tierney. So for those of you who don't know about OBOT, which you really should, OBOT is the voice of business and the key advocate for economic growth in our nation's capital. Our mission is to cultivate a thriving world-class business community in Ottawa through leadership and partnership. To that end, I really encourage you to connect with everyone here and build some strong relationship and enjoy the insights in the conversation we have today with our mayor and our special guest who need no introduction, our very own Alfie. But before I let them come on, we need to kickstart this breakfast by thanking the people behind the scene who make this possible. Those are our great sponsors and supporters for this speaker series. Our lead sponsor and the presenting sponsor for February, Hydro Ottawa, Algonquin College, Commissioners, Enbridge, Ottawa Senators Hockey Club, RBC, The Westin, Zen Books, our global partners Oakwood and Casino Latlimi, our AV sponsor, Adamant, our speaker gift sponsor, Eamon Harden, our food sponsor, Lesite, our coffee sponsor, Capital Office. Thank you so much for all these sponsors. Without your support, this wouldn't be possible. And now I would like to introduce our today's presenting sponsor to the stage to say a few words, Julie Lupinacci. She's the Chief Customer Officer from Hydro Ottawa. Julie, come on up.
Good morning, Mayor Sutcliffe and distinguished guests. And I know we have a few other councillors because I saw my councillor, Kathy Kitts, and Austin Ralston King. It is absolutely such a pleasure to be here with you this morning. And as Ruby said, my name is Julie Lupinacci, and I'm the Chief Customer Officer with Hydro Ottawa. You all braved a lot of the elements to get in here today, and although I am truly honored to be given this privilege to speak to you today, I am under no illusion that this crowd, as big as it is here for me. But while I do have you here for a few minutes, I'm going to speak a little bit about Hydro Ottawa. So Hydro Ottawa is leading the way towards a greener future for our city and our community. While our business lines are rooted in areas of electricity distribution, renewable energy generation, and energy and utility services, we are absolutely relentless in our vision of being the leading partner of a smart energy future. At the end of 2021, we made a promise to be net zero in our operations by 2030. We know that is a huge undertaking, and we also know that it's actually what is best for our growing city and for our customers. We know that we can do this by joining our collective efforts in making big and bold moves. In fact, we've been doing that for years. While lots of people were debating whether climate change was real, we actually started buying up a fleet of renewable generation across Ottawa, Eastern Ontario, and even in upstate New York. All run-of-the-river, clean, green, renewable power is actually enough to power over 110,000 homes here in Ottawa. Hydro Ottawa stands as the largest municipally owned producer of green energy in Ontario, and second place is really a long way back. Moreover, through each of our major subsidiaries and business lines, we have been applying a sustainability lens to all of our planning, decision-making, and investing. We're doing production in clean, renewable, and sustainable energy. To lighten our environmental impact, we have adopted an end-to-end approach to sustainability, transitioning to greener energy production, installing and maintaining EV charging with the infrastructure with the City of Ottawa, which includes the charging infrastructure for the OC Transpo zero-emission buses. We're helping customers conserve energy and lead energy-efficient lifestyles, providing building retrofits, designing some of even our own facilities to lead gold standards. We're implementing green technologies and improving our own waste management. That was for you, Wayne. Additionally, in partnership with Zibi Canada and Kruger Products, Hydro Ottawa completed the construction and commissioning of the district energy plant, which provides zero carbon heating and cooling, making Zibi this region's first carbon neutral community. Our history as a company is one of action. We have demonstrated a willingness and a capacity to partner with like-minded organizations to support their goals of sustainability and efficiency. We are focused on investing in our infrastructure to meet future demands and proofing our grid for the future storms, reducing carbon emissions, and electrifying our city in ways that we have actually never thought possible. We are focused on supporting customers just like you guys as you realize your own green goals. We will continue to pursue every opportunity, big or small, to actively work with our customers on their own net zero journeys and support our entire community as we move towards electrifying our transportation, retrofitting our buildings, homes, and institutions. Thank you again for allowing me to share here today, and I do hope that this has inspired you to take one step closer to a more sustainable and smart future.
Thank you, Julie, and your team at Hydro Ottawa is leading the charge for making our city greener and more sustainable. So, I think I'm standing between you and some very special guests. So now, please join me in welcoming His Worship, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, to the podium to provide his update.
Thanks, Ruby. Bonjour tout le monde. It's really great to see such an amazing turnout. We had to add extra seating here, and I'm so grateful to see this really, really strong turnout for me, for my first mayor's breakfast, and also for Daniel Alfredsson. Yeah, also for the greatest player in Senators history. So it's really great to see you all, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation this morning. I want to thank the Ottawa Business Journal and the Ottawa Board of Trade for their hard work in producing this event. I was actually involved in creating the Mayor's Breakfast series I think it was 1998 maybe, with then Mayor Jim Watson, who was mayor of the pre-amalgamation city of Ottawa at the time. And we created this event, and it's been going now for 25 years, roughly, give or take. And at that time, when I was the publisher of the Ottawa Business Journal, and then later on I was a board member with the Board of Trade, and I would come to this event, and I never thought I would be here as the mayor of Ottawa myself. So, and by the way, this is a special day because, not just because Daniel Alfredsson is here, but this is my 100th day as the mayor of Ottawa. So I've hit that milestone. Thank you. And I'm grateful to see so many of my colleagues here from City Council. Since the new term of council began, we have been very hard at work trying to build a stronger economy and establish the budget for 2023 and do all kinds of other things for the community. And last week, working together with the Board of Trade, Ottawa Tourism, Regroupement des gens d'affaires, and Invest Ottawa, I hosted an economic summit that was attended by more than 125 business leaders, and we brainstormed about many different ideas to strengthen our economy, revitalize downtown Ottawa and the Byward Market, and attract and retain the best talent to our city. Working together, I believe we have an opportunity to create more jobs and build a better economy and truly build a better city for everyone. En travaillant ensemble, nous avons la possibilité de créer plus d'emplois et de bâtir une meilleure économie et une meilleure ville pour tous. Il ne fait aucun doute que l'année qui commence nous réserve de nombreux défis, mais le Conseil municipal a pris des mesures importantes pour concrétiser notre vision de l'avenir d'Ottawa. There's no doubt that we continue to face challenges as a city, but I want you to know that your city council is hard at work tackling many of them. And next week, I'm hopeful that we will pass the 2023 budget that will include a low tax increase and many critical investments in local infrastructure and public safety and addressing homelessness and many other priorities. We have a lot to be proud of as a city. I know it's been a challenging couple of years, but we have a lot to be proud of. We have a new air connection coming to Paris, which is very exciting. We have many events that are returning to the capital after 3 long years of not being held in person. And Ryan Reynolds wants to be the part owner of our hockey team. So that's pretty good too. So we have a lot to look forward to. And now I'm really excited to introduce our guest today, Daniel Alfredsson, who is not only the longest serving captain in Ottawa Senators history, but also a great leader in our community. So, as some of you may know, the NHL draft happens every year, and in 1998, there were 286 players chosen in the NHL draft, 286 players, and 21 of them went on to be NHL All-Stars, but only one of them has been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. And that's the player who was chosen by the Ottawa Senators in the 6th round, with the 133rd pick. So there were 132 players chosen before Daniel Alfredsson in the 1998 NHL draft. What's that? 94 draft? Okay. All right. Are you sure? I looked this up on Wikipedia. But it was the 6th round. I got that right. Yeah, okay. And you are in the Hall of Fame, right? Yeah, okay. So, you know, I've got most of it right. By the way, the Toronto Maple Leafs had 4 picks before Daniel was selected by the Senators, so they missed out 4 times on picking a Hockey Hall of Famer. Daniel went on to play 18 seasons in the National Hockey League, yeah. Including as captain of the Senators from 1999 to 2013. He set team records with 426 goals, 682 assists, and 1,108 points. And in 2016, he was the first member of the modern Senators to have his number retired. And I know most of us know Daniel as a great hockey player and a Hall of Famer, but I got to know him as a volunteer. I was very involved in the Royal Ottawa Mental Health Foundation. And in 2008, when very, very few people were attaching their names to the cause of mental health, Daniel stepped forward and became the face of a groundbreaking campaign for the Royal Ottawa. And I know I have spoken over the years to countless people in our community who have become involved in mental health or who have felt more comfortable stepping forward talking about their own struggles with mental health because Daniel Alfredsson attached his name to that cause. So it was a huge moment in our community. After retiring from the Ottawa Senators, Daniel and his family chose to stay in Ottawa and to continue to contribute to our community. He became a Canadian citizen, and in 2015, he received the Key to the City, which is the city's most prestigious honor. And of course, just last year, Daniel was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and once again, he used his induction speech to shine a light on mental health. So Daniel has done so much to remove the stigma of mental illness and to support our community. And on behalf of the people of Ottawa, on behalf of our community, I want to thank Daniel sincerely for his tremendous leadership. So Daniel, it's a great pleasure to welcome you here today. Please come up and join me. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Alfredsson. So I've got some questions here for you, but Chris Phillips has told me that if I don't ask some tough questions, that he's going to jump in with a couple himself. So be ready for that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. My first question, though, is I've struggled with this for a while. I don't know whether to call you Daniel or to call you Alfie, and I'm not sure which one you prefer. So
As long as you don't call me Dan, I'm okay.
Okay.
That's the only nickname I don't like. So if you want to make me mad, that's what you should call me. Alfie is usually what people call me.
Yeah.
Daniel, if they're not sure, maybe, but Alfie works very well.
Okay. All right, Daniel.
Dan.
Dan, exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about your career and then, some of the stuff you're doing now. But, and then, of course, we have a lot to talk about in terms of the future of our hockey team, we're at a really exciting juncture, obviously. But I think a lot of people wonder, how did you do it? How did you go from being a sixth-round draft pick to being an NHL Hall of Famer?
I didn't try very hard early on. No, that's a joke. I don't know, to be honest. It's not. There was never a plan. This is what I want to do. Loved sports, still do. Loved everything about it. Practicing. Learning about how to get in shape, and I always joke, if I have an afterlife, I'll be a dog, because put a ball in front of me and I'll run forever. I'm not a guy that goes out and just runs just for the sake of running. Always loved sports.
Who would do that?
Yeah.
Only a crazy person would just go out and run.
Yeah. I need to be challenged that way, just, solving solutions and figure things out quickly. But I loved sports. Soccer and hockey were the two sports I played growing up competitively. I got to the point of, I think it was around 14, when I kind of had to decide. I played the highest level in both sports, and it came to a point where they overlapped too much. I had to decide, and I wasn't sure. It took me a couple of weeks, I think. I remember my dad asking me, he's like, so what do you want to do? And I ended up taking hockey, because at the end of the soccer season, I was frustrated. The pitches weren't very good, so the ball was bouncing, and it's like, well, hockey, the puck is flatter. I feel like I have more control. So that was the reasoning behind choosing hockey. And then played junior. I was okay. But I think, I was a late bloomer. hit puberty later than most. So I never really stood out. I always had good skills and could anticipate the game well. But it wasn't until I started hitting puberty and getting stronger that I started getting better. So just going from junior, getting up another level is like, oh, this is fun. And then junior B and then going to junior A, it was like, okay, I can do this. And then it all kind of just happened. Next challenge, try out for the next team. Okay, I made that. And then, here we are. So it was never a plan. Was never worried if I was going to get cut or didn't make a team. I knew I could always play on some team, and just loved playing the game.
Yeah, and what I find interesting about that is I've talked to lots of athletes, and I've talked to lots of successful entrepreneurs, and I think the critical thing is you have to love every part of it, right? You've got to love practicing, you've got to love going to the rink early, doing the work, understanding how you can get an edge, with nutrition or with a new workout or something like that. And I'm sure you encountered, there have to have been players along the way who didn't enjoy it as much as you, right? There are people who are naturally talented at something, but it doesn't mean they enjoy all the hard work that's required to get to and stay at the highest level.
No, exactly. And a lot of people, they did enjoy it too, but they enjoyed other stuff more, like going to parties, having girlfriends. I was kind of nerdy that way, that I just wanted to do sports. That was my thing. I didn't want to go to any dances or anything. I was like, oh, is there another practice I can go to? I would try to find that. And I would also add that, as everybody knows, you need good mentors, good coaches to have around as well. And I think growing up in Sweden, like I said, I was a late bloomer physically, and everybody always got a chance to play. So even if I was on a team where I maybe wasn't the top third of the best players, everybody still played power play, still played penalty killing. So I never felt like, oh, but this is too much. I only play 5 minutes a game. Everybody plays the whole game, and you just rolls lines. And I think that made it, for me anyway, that this is still fun. I still enjoy this. I'm not just pushed aside. And good luck when you catch up physically. And I'll add a little story to that. Go to 2005, the lockout in the NHL. I ended up going back to Sweden for the latter part of the season. I think I played 17 regular season games. We had a very good team. And I think we finished first overall. Big favorites to win everything. And we go in, we win the first round 4-0, win the second round 4-1, and go into the finals. And we're playing Färjestad, a team, and they had Chara and Sheldon Sorey, and they had a good team as well. And I think we lose game 1, we win game 2, and we're on the road for game 3 again. And we're up 2-1, and it's late in the second period, and we get a power play. And I'm playing really well. Like, I'm scoring 1 or 2 goals every game pretty much. But it was the fourth line's turn to go on the power play. And I'm used to being over here in the NHL, where the top 2 power play lines or the top power play line, they go back out again. So I look at the coaches like, I'm feeling really good. Like, we should go out again. It's like, no, it's their turn. And this is the Swedish Elite League at the time, and I thought, this is crazy. But I think it means a lot. Like, everybody feels they have a part, and I find in youth sports in general, we're kind of trending to push winning is so important, and it is. But I think there's different ways to do it, and that was really an eye opener for me, because I was used to the NHL way for 10+ years now, and I forgot how I ended up here in the first place.
That's really interesting, because I had a conversation with my son plays baseball, and I had a conversation with one of the other dads recently where we were talking about, he was very intent on the team winning all the time, and I said, at this stage they're all exhibition games, right? Like, it's all about player development and about the experience for the kids and all of that. It doesn't really, winning's fun, and obviously if you have a season where you lose every game, it's not fun for the kids, but it's not really about winning.
No, I totally agree. And I mean, I would go even so far to the NHL in today's world, especially with the salary cap. Every team has to have young guys, inexperienced. They have to bring up new people, and they're not always ready. They're not ready, to take a full role. So they need mentoring, they need coaching, they need opportunities, obviously. And at the pro level, the tough line is, if you don't win, you're going to get fired. But if you don't develop, you're going to get fired just a little bit later. So that's the fine line you have to play. But I think in youth sports especially, you got to find a way for everybody to feel that they're participating and are a big part of it. And the good coaches, they do find that way.
So how much did the Hall of Fame mean to you? It's still relatively fresh. It was in the fall of last year that you were inducted into the Hall of Fame. What did that mean to you, and how big a moment was that in your life?
It was a big moment. Like I said, it's still surreal in a way. Talking about how I grew up, how I played from a city in Gothenburg, and then coming all the way to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I've been inducted into Ottawa Sports Hall of Fame, the Swedish Hockey Hall of Fame, the International Hockey Hall of Fame before, which is huge honors as well. And the Hall of Fame is obviously the biggest honor you can get as an individual player, and it's tough to put into words. And I had to wait, 5 years before it happened. And, I would love to get in, or I wanted to get in all the time, but it wasn't like, well, if it happens, it happens. But every year I get asked about it when, middle of June comes around, and they're going to announce who's getting in for that year. And, I thought maybe not the first year, but maybe the second. And then I said, okay, I'm not even going to worry about it. If they call, they call. So it was more my friends or closer people that remind me every year. But then to finally get the call this year, and I paid more attention this year and thought maybe it could happen. Some of the guys here in Ottawa did a phenomenal campaign to lobby for me. I don't know how much effect it had, but it felt really good. So I was like, it's okay if I don't get in. Maybe they can do that again next year, because it makes me feel really good.
Whether you get in or not, you just get this little advertising campaign about you every year. It's great.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a great honor, and when you look back, it's weird to get an individual honor like that when there's so many people that helped you get to that point. Obviously, like I said, parents, coaches, teammates, staff around the teams, and playing in Ottawa for such a long time as I did, and us, although we didn't win the Stanley Cup, we had a lot of successful years of being in the playoffs, and it was a really good atmosphere within the team. The players, the staff, our extended families and everything, and those are the things that kind of, wow, this is what it's all about. And then to be able to share that Hall of Fame moment with a lot of those people, that the whole week was surreal, to be honest.
Well, you deserved it, and it should have come sooner. But that's another story. But why did you choose after your career to stay in Ottawa? You could have gone back to your home country of Sweden. You could have, you could live anywhere in the world. You could live in somewhere warmer in February, as I someday aspire to do. But what made you decide to plant your roots here and raise your family here with your wife, Bibi?
LRT.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Have a great day.
What? Sorry.
I only got here in November,
yeah.
So.
Sorry for that. Anyway, I think it's, I was living in Detroit, had retired for a year, and the lovely Brian Murray and I talked, and he wanted to get me involved with hockey again. So I started working in management and commuted Detroit, Ottawa for a year. And then talking to BB, my wife, and the kids is like, I really enjoy this job and would like to continue. So we talked about, moving back. So that was kind of the how it started. And then also we both came over early. I was 22, my wife was 20 when we moved here. 4 kids born here, raised here, friends here. So there was so many factors that came into play that made this a natural choice. But I think also I felt this is where I can make the most good as well. I had built a great relationship with the fans, with the city, with mental health, and all the other charities we did, individually and as a team as well. So I think that's something I want to continue as well. So it's a lot of different things. Obviously, great schools, great people, and I feel it's easy. Toronto is a great city, Montreal is a great city, but Ottawa is the perfect size to me. It's not too big, and I find that when it really matters, people really look after each other and feel that connection. So all those factors played a role. But yeah, we don't regret one moment, that's for sure.
And why did you, I know you've told the story before about your family connection to mental health, and but I still look back on that moment as a game-changing moment in Ottawa. I remember I was on the board of the Royal Ottawa Foundation, and I think we raised, before you got involved, we were super excited about raising maybe $400,000 or $500,000 a year, and then, a bunch of things happened, including your engagement, and it just took off from there, and now it's a cause that everyone is so committed to. What made you, and I think it was the first time you really actively put yourself out there and got involved in something. Why that, and just describe your relationship with that issue since then?
Well, it's similar to my hockey career. It wasn't like, I'm going to do this and it's going to become really big and I'm going to be really popular. I think it's, I've talked about my sister's struggles with mental health, and it affects not only her, but the family. And also a friend of mine, Bill, who's in the audience today, had relationship with people that were really affected with mental health, and we were just talking about how can we make a difference. And I was playing great hockey. I was in the peak of my career, playing the best hockey of my life probably, and felt like, what can we do? We didn't really know what to jump on board with, and the Royal had already started their You Know Who I Am campaign. So I was not part of the original, but it was just regular people that went through their struggles and shared with the city what they went through, and I can't imagine the courage that takes to do that. So I was in a much easier position, obviously, to help out, and I felt if I can lend my name, if I'm comfortable enough to speak out about this, and I've always been a person that I don't really care how I come across, or if I feel these are my intentions, they're good intentions, I'll try to do it. And we got in touch with the Royal and met with them, and they talked about this campaign. I'd love to help, and that's how it started. And it's been unbelievable and way more rewarding. And the Hall of Fame is awesome, but to feel and to see the connections and people coming up and thanking you for making their life easier, that's been the most rewarding thing in my lifetime so far.
Well, and as I said, the impact has been immeasurable. So thank you for what you've done. So tell me a little bit about your life now after hockey. As you've been involved in some business ventures. We can talk a little bit about padel, which is am I saying it right?
Padel? Yeah, padel.
Which is a sport that that some people will know about, but some people may not. But you're trying to to expand its the level of participation in Ottawa. But just tell us a little bit about what the adjustment's been like for you since your playing career ended, and what you've been getting involved in.
Yeah, so the first year after I retired, I didn't do much at all except being a stay-at-home dad, and I thought I'd be really good of husband by trying to help out, get up early in the morning, help do the lunches, and get the family set for the day, and that did not go over too well. The routine that's already in place, you do not touch that. I learned very quickly. So the first year I didn't do much. I started picking up tennis, playing on my own a little bit more, golf as well, and just took a year off. Got a gym membership that didn't work out too well either. But anyway, we started working with Ottawa again, talked to Brian in management, and I really enjoyed that. So moved back to Ottawa the second year and continued, and the team did, they went to the conference finals, everything was good. Then decided to take a little break and step away and spend more time with the family. So since then, it's been, like you said, I'm involved with the Sports Medicine Center, which is a sports clinic in Canada. Because I noticed, I found when I had back issues at the end of my career, and I loved the trainers here in Ottawa, and when I left for Detroit, I didn't get the same level of care. So moving back is like, I want to invest in these guys. So I'm in partner with one of the physios who's with Ottawa as well. Don't do a ton of work with them, but help out here and there. Other than that, it hasn't been too exciting, my life, to be honest. Coaching kids hockey, which I do really enjoy. I find it fascinating that the difference between Canadian and Swedish hockey, the way they approach things.
Say more about that.
Yeah, so bigger ice in Sweden, way more focus on skills and skating. I find the North American way more games. The Canadians, they get their players to work extremely hard. We took our 14-year-old team to Sweden right before COVID hit in New Year's there, 1920, and we got complimented so much.
2020?
2020.
2020, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got to correct you on a date now.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I like that. So that's when everybody complimented us how hard we worked. But there we also saw the difference in skill level at some point, at some levels. So I find the mix is really good. So that's with all my teams. I do a lot of skill work. They have to touch the puck a lot. They have to touch the puck and do spinoramas and a lot of different stuff, not just north-south. So those are the biggest differences, and also, like I said, I don't just say it, I live it too. So when I coach, I roll 4 lines as well, and it's not always popular with parents, but I always say, if you're a really good player, well, you should be able to make other players better. So that's my philosophy, and I'm kind of lost. Where were we going with this?
That's okay. I'm just right there. I was just picturing a dad arguing with you about you're rolling 4 lines. I've got some better ideas than you, Daniel, on how we should be running the team. Let me explain to you how hockey works, Mr. Hall of Famer.
Sorry, but now I got back on track here. Anyway, been coach. I'm not coaching this year, which has kind of been nice too, to have more time. I've been able to watch more Sens games and been around the rink there more too. But starting to get into padel tennis. I don't know how many people know what it is. It's a mix of tennis and squash. It's not pickleball, but it's similar. But it's a court 10 by 20 meters enclosed with walls. You use a paddle this thick. A little bit bigger than a pickleball racket and a tennis ball, and it's always doubles. And going back to Sweden, I saw how it grew and grew. They went from 300 courts to, I think they're up to 5,000 courts now, just in 5-6 years, and played it a lot. And it's like, we got to get this over here. So we have the one court set up at Rideau Sports Club in the summer, an outdoor court, and we're looking for space to put in an indoor facility. And I'll talk to you about this later too, because we had some zoning issues, but we
can work that out right now if you want. Yeah.
We are looking to get 4 to 6 indoor courts at one spot, because I know racket players know we don't have enough tennis courts since OAC shut down, unfortunately. Pickleball's taking some space, which is awesome. I think there's room for padel and more tennis and whatnot. So that's something I've been working on in the last year and a bit, and passionate about. Just easy sport to learn, and something the learning curve is really steep and fairly quick. But like anything, if you want to be really good, you got to put the time in. So yeah, that's kind of where I am now, and then we'll see what happens here with the hockey team.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But is I would describe, I haven't actually played it, but I've seen some videos and I've seen stories about you and your interest in it, and it looks like it's very fast-paced, lots of fun, kind of like a social sport as well, right? Because it's doubles and you're and you're meeting up with friends and that sort of thing, right? So it's a great recreational activity.
Oh, for sure, and because the court is closer, it's about a third of the size of a tennis court, so you're all closer together, like you said. I love tennis, singles tennis. I'm not a huge doubles tennis guy because I find the points are over too quick. Here the points are longer. The issue we're having with Final Location is we need ideally minimum 25-foot ceiling height, likely 27, 30 feet, because the defensive shot is always a high lob, which kind of resets the point and then you start over. So the rallies are always pretty long. And, I was giving a fair bit of clinics this summer just to people that just signed up and wanted to try it. And if you've had just a basic, held a racket in your hand before, within 30 minutes you can actually play a game and enjoy it from the beginning, whereas tennis is, it takes years to actually play a decent game. So that's why I think it would be fun. I want to have courts so I can play, but also I think it would be a good business idea.
Yeah, it sounds great. There's some pretty high ceilings in here, actually. We could look at that.
That could work.
Are there lessons that you learned from your experience as a professional athlete that you're applying now to business and to the other ventures that you're involved in?
For sure there is. I think once you have a passion for something, you want to go all in. I think I knew when I struggled in hockey, I knew kind of how to correct myself. The business world, so like I said, we've been trying here for, my brother and I started trying before COVID, found a location, and then COVID hit and we got cold feet, and now we're back looking again. So it's, we put a lot of effort in early on, business plan, everything. We want to do this right. I'm an optimist. I'm not great with numbers, maybe a little too optimistic at times, so I need a good partner. How do we make this work? I want the best this. Well, we can't take on too much overhead early, especially starting a business. So, but I think if you have a passion, you'll just have to find a way. And right now, I think we're stalled a little bit, but we're going to make it happen. I have no doubt.
Sounds great. So let's talk about our hockey team, which of course is up for sale right now, and there's a lot of interest. And you were playing for the Senators the last time the team was sold. I feel like the National Hockey League, professional sports, and the Ottawa Senators are all in a completely different place now from the last time. That there's so much interest in the team, in the franchise, in the city. We have the potential to build an arena downtown. So can you just talk about what this opportunity represents for the hockey team and for our community?
Well, I think it's a great time for the team and for the city. I see the passion about the team, and it's phenomenal. The product, you're always entertained. We're always want more as fans. Like it's pretty easy when you sit up top and watch, and it's a young team, but it's I think a very exciting time. I think the cornerstones are there. In terms of the personnel on the ice, I think, with the ownership change coming, I think that will be a positive. Somebody that's going to come in, they're going to want to put their best foot forward as well, and take the team to the next level, not just on the ice but off the ice as well, where I think there is some work to be done and mending some relationships within the city, but the product is there, and it's I was listening when you were talking about the city. It's exciting. We're building. We're seeing this vision, and I think it's the same with the hockey team. They're missing a few pieces. I think more than anything, they're missing a little bit of experience. A lot of them are going through, this for the first time. They've been losing a lot, out of the playoffs early last year. We thought they were out of it this year, but now they're fighting their way back in. And to see their passion and the development of some of the younger players has been phenomenal. And I've been around the rink more this year than I have in the last 5 years combined. So I got a feel of the players, and the mood is pretty good. They're still a little bit frustrated that they're not higher up, but I really like what I see in the players and their desire to be better. So I think the future here will be very exciting.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the last time the team was sold, it was basically a bankruptcy situation, and there was a question about whether payroll would be met, and is anybody going to come in and buy this team? We need somebody to save the franchise, and it was almost like the team was bought at a discount, and this time around there's multiple bidders. People are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, almost $1 billion just to purchase the franchise. So, what do you think that says about, we were talking, Chris Neal, of course, had his jersey retired last week, and we're at it's a different chapter now, and the team's been here 30 years. We have a Hall of Famer. We have people with their jerseys retired. There are kids growing up who have, unlike, I grew up in Ottawa when we didn't have a hockey team. My son is growing up in a city that's always had an NHL team in his life, right? So it just feels very different, like the roots are a lot deeper and the opportunity is greater. The team has matured, the city has matured.
There's no question. And I think the interest is here. There's no question about the very passionate fan base, supportive business community, and of course you need that. And we saw, the excitement when they went to the conference finals in 17, but then since then they haven't made the playoffs, and that's rink hasn't been sold out. Attendance has been an issue, but I think the wave here that's coming with the Stützle, Kachuk, and Norris and Shabbat and Sanderson. There's a lot of excitement, and obviously we want it to do well right now. And I hope that they can, play well here in the next few weeks, so they feel that and learn from this experience going in, that maybe they have a chance to make the playoffs. Momentum is such a powerful thing, and I don't know their exact record the last 15 games, but it's pretty darn good. And if you can ride that and stay fairly healthy from here on in, I think if they can fight and play meaningful games at the end of March and till the season ends, will be invaluable. And if they would be able to make it to the playoffs, I think that would be huge for them. But also, having said that, I know they're taking a step. You can tell in the maturity of the games just from the start of this season to now. I don't think they're throwing away games. They're not giving away easy goals as much as they used to. So they're definitely learning. They're learning how to play together. And like you said, with the ownership change coming, positive. Ryan Reynolds, is he going to be part or not? Who knows? If he would be, I think it would be great as well. Like you said, Ottawa is up there. It's exciting to be part of this because I think there is a lot of growth and a lot of things looking up for the team and the organization.
In an ideal world, what role would you have in the future of the Ottawa Senators after this ownership change?
I was asked if I wanted to be part of it this year, and intriguing and flattering, obviously. But I said I'll be around more this year. I'll help out any way I can, but I don't want to take on an official role in case there is an ownership change and I have a role that I really like, and then a new owner comes in and it's like, no, I have somebody else for this role. I don't know if I could handle another leave the Senators moment in my life.
Another breakup?
Yeah, another breakup. So I said, I want to wait to see what happens. But I would love to be part, have a meaningful role in hockey ops. That was my feeling in the summer, and I feel even more so now. Being around the team, I've helped out. I've skated a few of the guys when they've been injured. Teams on the road, I've come in and helped with skills and talked to the players. So I got to know them a bit more, and I think with the experience and what they're going through now. I was there early in my career. How we went from being the worst team in the league to consistently being a playoff team, and I feel I have a lot to contribute in that role. So that's kind of what I'm hoping, but we'll see what happens with the new ownership. But that's my dream job.
All right, I hope it happens. I think that would be good. So last question, because I know you have a train to catch.
I'm going to try.
Yeah. What do you're a longtime resident of Ottawa now, and your kids are growing up in this community. What do you hope for? What do you imagine? What's your aspiration for the future of our city, our community?
Well, obviously, we see there's obvious issues with LRT, which obviously I think that will get solved down the road, and it will be a great contribution to the city, healthcare. Whatnot, but just a city where we continue to look after each other. I think we'll, obviously we're going to grow. I think during COVID, a lot of people found out Ottawa is a phenomenal place to live with all the outdoor recreational activities and other things we have. So I don't know if I have any vision exactly for the city, but today's world, we all know how polarizing everything is. It's either you're black or you're white, or you do this, you do, I can't agree with that because you're on that side, I'm on this side. We got to look at the bigger picture and look after each other first and foremost. I think that's hugely important, and I feel that we have that in this city, and I hope we don't lose that. I said before, I said before, healthcare. I said I've had a few surgeries in my career, and NHL players, we get the best care possible. This is the best surgeon for this operation, and this is the best one in Denver or Cleveland, wherever you want to go. But I always elected to have my surgeries in Ottawa because I know the doctors, they're extremely good, and there's no secret to anything. And then I know if I walk in as the captain of the hockey team, I know he's going to look after me. He's not going to want to mess up. So we do have good people working here. Hopefully a lot of them stay and continue. It's been a tough few years for all of them. But I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of people see, the drive-in today. The other thing, if you have the key to the city, they plow your streets first, if you didn't know that. And I don't, but just driving, they get angry so quick. And that's just the climate we live in. So sometimes we just got to take time, slow everything down, take some deep breaths, and it's like a hockey team. We look after each other. We care about everybody, and we all do our part to help to contribute.
I love that. We look after each other here. That's a great message about our community. I think it's very true. Daniel, thank you so much. Alfie, thank you so much for all you've done for our community. Thank you for choosing Ottawa as a place to raise your family and continue your contributions to our community after your playing career. Congratulations again on the Hall of Fame, such a well-deserved honor. And you're an amazing hockey player, but I think you're just a fantastic person as well, and that's been evident in everything you've done as a leader in our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations to you as well. You made it out of the draft, I guess. I think my draft was more fun than yours. But it's good luck with everything, and it's been a pleasure knowing you, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you very much. Daniel Alfredsson.
Thank you.
Just hang around here with the
Wow. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Curran from the Ottawa Business Journal. What a wonderful way to start your Mayor's Breakfast Series, Mark. Fantastic. Daniel, whenever we hear you speak with such authenticity. You're so grounded.